Hello, 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 and welcome back to another live stream. How's it going, everyone? Hope you're all doing well. Happy Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. Yay! Or the work week. Yay! That means it's Wednesday and I am panicking of what to make a video on for Sunday. You know, a typical Wednesday. Yep. I actually have no idea to make a video on. I was freaking looking up it's a node that I was trying to figure out. It's called Instant Skinned Mesh Spawner in PCG. And I was trying to look up what is an Instant Skinned Mesh Spawner. I'm like, okay, something must have documentation for this. Somewhere. No. Nothing anywhere. Like, here's the instant skinned mesh spawner I was trying to use. I was trying to use AI to guide me because I got nothing to work with here. Because this requires bank attribute, sequence index attribute, and mesh attribute. Hell if I understand these. And by the way, if you hover over them, they don't even tell you any info. So you don't know what's going on. Then I'm like, okay, maybe I should just look it up. I went to Epic's documentation page. Okay, I went there. It's called Instant Skinned Mesh Spawner. And I searched Instant Skinned Mesh Spawner. Let's see what comes up. Instant Skinned Mesh. Not the spawner, but it's Instant Skinned Mesh. But this is API documentation. Well, that's not helpful. API documentation for skinned mesh is skin mesh. I cannot even find Instant Skinned Mesh Spawner, the node, anywhere except in the release notes for 5.6. And the only place it's mentioned is right here. Instant Skinned Mesh Spawner spawns Instant Skinned Meshes visuals to support skinned animation akin to static mesh spawner by attribute. But how do you use this? What do you do? Nothing. There's no information about anything at all. Why? It's a node. The node is right there. How do we use it? What does it do? Something, Epic, something. Give us something. Anyway. Hey, Skronek, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Like, by name, the node sounds cool. It's a skinned mesh spawner, so maybe like it spawns like animations like of characters like really efficiently, right? It could be that, but I don't know. There's no information about it. I don't know what a bank attribute is or a sequence index attribute or anything. I don't know how to set it up. So yeah, I'm still looking for stuff for this Sunday to make a video on. I think this is the most I've been stuck for a while. We'll figure something out. Hopefully. Hey Leo, welcome in. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. You have 2 questions for me. Okay. I have one answer. Which one do you want? The first one or the second one? One Unreal related and one anime related. Which do you want first? Let's go with anime first. Hey Daryl, welcome in. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. What do you use to make my sprites? Blender. Like to render them? Blender. Did I see Demon Slayer Infinity Castle movie? No, because I don't watch Demon Slayer. Next question. To design them, I don't design them. All my characters are already Epic, are inside of Unreal already as 3D models, and I just convert them to 2D. I just convert 3D models, 3D animations to 2D sprites. That's all. That is all. Is there a way to inflate a texture spherically in Unreal? What does that mean? Like a warp spherical? No. No, there's no like deforming of a texture. There's no blurring of a texture. There's nothing. Nope. As far as I know. You've never seen that done? Is there a program in Unreal for that? What do you mean a program in Unreal? Unreal is the program. Unreal. There's plugins for Unreal, but a plugin, but it's not free. That I remember someone linking me, but Blender's free. Hey, Charter, welcome in. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Oh, thank you. Are you planning on doing more PCGX videos? Yes, but those rely on Tim, the creator of PCGX. Basically, he teaches me PCGX, and the things he teaches me, I then make into a video. To teach everyone else in a digestible way. Because I basically went to him and I'm like, hey, I don't know PCGX. You obviously do because you made it, but you don't have time to make tutorials or document good tutorials for it for like the average person that's not very techy. I can do that. You teach me, I teach everyone. PCGX gets better. It gets more people in it. So that's kind of our relationship. But he's currently busy, so yeah. Once he frees up, there'll be another one. Hey, you guys, welcome in. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Instead of warping UVs, but you think you might have to do it differently? Warping UVs would be the way you would do it, yes. But warping UVs, right? It's not going to give you quite the same result, I think, as like what a true fisheye effect or lens would be. On Sunday, we make a game for content. I mean, look, if there was like, if you have an idea of how to use PCG for like game dev stuff, I'll gladly make a tutorial for that. I'm pulling a blank right now for Sunday. Just genuinely. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, I want to like look into this instant skinned mesh spawner, but there's not a single bit of information anywhere about the single node. By name, it sounds cool. It might be like a performed way of spawning maybe characters that play animations. Like if you want like a bunch of background characters that, just idle or do random idle things. Maybe it's that. I don't know. There's no documentation. So I looked into it and I was like, nothing. Not a single thing anywhere. I even asked in the Unreal Source Discord, and silence from everyone. No one knows. If you know anything about meta sounds, I don't. I don't know anything about meta sounds. I opened meta sounds once and I was like, how do I do just pitch variation and play an audio, and I couldn't figure it out. And I went back to the cue system. I know. I'm the worst. I could like look up tutorials, but I didn't care enough to do it because I was like, the regular queue system was enough for me. So, yeah. Other than that, other than me panicking for figuring out stuff and me not being able to find documentation, in my search for information, I found this post about me. Well, not about me. Absolute goats of Unreal Engine educational content. Who would you add to the list from 12 days ago? And look, there I am. I'm right there. People like my stuff. That's all I saw. I just saw this before the stream. While I was searching the stuff for this, and I was happy. Ben Cloward is the GOAT. Yeah. Absolutely. If you think that's brutal, the court system is awful. What is the court system? I've never even heard of that. Yeah, I just saw this. And I was like, oh, look, I'm under PCG. I'm there. I don't know a lot of these people. I know Prismatica Dev, who hasn't done a lot of tutorials in a while. I mean, his material stuff is really old at this point. So, I mean, I don't even know if you consider him a material person. Because recently it's all his plugin stuff. I mean, but yeah. Visual Techer, I don't know who this is. Watstein, yeah, he's great, but he hasn't, there's no new stuff. He stopped. Gorka, look, love him or hate him. If you're just starting out with blueprints, he's still a good resource. For pure, complete beginners, he's still a good resource. Don't look it up? Okay, I won't. He's been working on his water system. Yeah, that's what I mean. I think he's been, Prismatica Dev has been doing a lot of plugin stuff, like more so, like for quite a while. Let's see. He actually, there was a point where I got raided at one point, and like on Twitch, I got raided, and he was in the chat, and I was like, "Oh man, I like watch your stuff." He's like, "And now I watch you too," and it didn't. I didn't connect it until later. Hey, sir, welcome in. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. I didn't connect it in my head till later. I'm like, he didn't actually know who I was at all, most likely, because if he got joined in a raid on Twitch, he obviously doesn't just automatically know, hey, I'm Procedural Minds, I do like PCG stuff, because I don't see that, because I get very rarely raided, so I don't have this habit of like, hey, I'm Procedural Minds. So I think he's like, oh, just a random guy who likes his stuff. So until it was after that, I'm like, maybe I should, if I see him again, maybe I'll say hi. Well, he didn't post for a long time, and then he came back. I did virtual textures, optimizing foliage, material. Okay, Niagara. Yeah, he's still. There's just not a lot of videos, which is why I think I thought he was done with materials, because in the past year basically he's done 7 videos. Oh, 6 videos. I don't count this one. All right. So I didn't think about it, but yeah, beforehand for sure. Matthew Watson is fantastic. Ollie for AI stuff, fantastic. That's the Ollie that's an AI stuff. Ryan, again, I watched like 1 series of his. Code Like Me, I think that's more actual coding, which is why I haven't done it. But the name is familiar. And then that's more or less that's it. Unreal Engine. Who is crushing? Does he know there's someone on YouTube using his logo on a channel called Procedural Minds? He wasn't around at that time, sort of. I remember he wasn't providing support during that period on his Discord. He might be a AFK. I just know that, yeah, there hasn't been a lot of content. There was like, even from like a year ago, right? This is all from a year. Like, he just slowed down, which is fine, right? He's focused on something else. Tom Lewin's way I dated 6-year-old vids. Yeah, so is Watstein. Well, they're still good. Even though they're old, they're still fantastic, right? And I still go back to a lot of Prismatica stuff occasionally for certain things. There's one that I always go back to that I always forget. It's the shit. What is it? See, I always forget what it's called, even. Because I'm so bad. It's the distance field. The distance field one. Right, this distance field one. And I always forget... when I'm doing mine, I always forget what the first node is called. This is the nearest surface. I always forget the name of this, and I always go back to this video to find it. Every time. I always forget it's called distance to nearest surface. They didn't have time. This one's on us. It happens. But yeah. No idea what instant mesh spawner is. If I ever figure it out, I'll make a video on it. But my god, Epic, please make us some kind of documentation of new nodes. At least just tell us, like, generally, here are the inputs, here's what you want to plug in, and here's what it does. Like, 3 sentences. Like, per node. I know you have to do it. It's real, you gotta do it. Otherwise, how do people use these things? How do they know? So... This thing is awesome, though. Anyway, let's go to the game. thought I was playing a Pokemon video, but YouTube now plays the video when hovering over its thumbnail and it has audio. Having audio is weird, but yeah, it's done the hovering play video for a while. Whole video can play over another video. Audio is odd. It really should never have audio. That's a bad design if they're having audio. A mobile too? Ugh. You can play without watching ads? Oh, by zooming in on the little mobile version and just playing it like that? Or the zooming in on the little thumbnail version and just playing that without ads? Oh my god. People always find ways around. Which, by the way, is I think the leading theory right now as to why across YouTube views are down is because of ad blocker. Oh, you can choose on mobile if it has sounds or not. Got it. Makes sense, makes sense. Did you know? Know what? I know everything. Except the things I don't know. I know absolutely everything except the stuff I don't know. Adblocker just makes Chrome run slower. You're right. Everyone, please uninstall Adblocker while watching my stuff. I appreciate it. When designing your games, what do you do first? Environment design or system design? Do we make a game design document? Depends on many things. First, do you make a game design document? Depends. Do you have a timeline you want to make your game in? If the answer is yes, then yes, make a game design document so you know what you need to do and plan it all out. This is what you're doing. This is how it's being done. This is how much time you should take, etc., etc., etc. If you don't have a time frame, like I don't have a time frame, play around with it, try some things, you know, get a general idea, like 2 sentences, like, hey, this is what I want, and then play around with it, go from there. When you have things more concrete, then, you know, write them down. Make it as game design document later then. But you don't have to start with it. And environment design, unless the game's mechanics are environment focused, I would do systems always. Uncommon opinion, buy YouTube Premium. Yeah, I'm okay with everyone buying YouTube Premium. Don't build a house without a blueprint, because there's things you might not account for during the development of the game. But if you if your game design document, it lets you put everything on the table and see what you want to do. Yeah, if you have like a schedule, then game design document is good because you can be like, okay, I need to do this. This is how much time. This is how I'm going to do it. But like, my game has changed so much over even the past year that game design document is pointless for it. I'm just doing what's fun. What feels good. Hey, Zebra. Welcome in. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Why would you do systems first? That's like doing gameplay first. You can make a full game with cubes. And the game will be full. The game will work. Everything will be done. And then you put the environment in it. How do you put it? If you put the environment first, how do you know that you don't need a bigger or smaller environment if you don't have any gameplay? I would do blocking, like make a block out with just cubes of an environment, but you need to know what your gameplay is going to be. If you don't know what your gameplay system is going to be, and you make like this thin path, and you're like, oh shit, I want to use armies, and this is how much room they're gonna take up. We can't have this small path, right? So you build around the system. So that's why I would never do not never, but like if it's not the main focus, yeah. Hey Jax, welcome in. How's it going? I hope you're doing well. Document, create stuff. Creating a document about what you want to do is much more rewarding than just creating something you don't know what it's going to be. I mean, that's definitely a personal preference on that one. Yeah, go with the flow. For me, I hate writing documents. So nothing rewarding about that for me. What do you think about Quixel assets in your game? Same as any assets in your game. It's fine. Only meant for cinematic scenes? It doesn't matter. Put them wherever. Yeah, eventually, once you know what your game's going to be, you can go and do a more specific document. Yeah, exactly. The advice you've been given is make the game first, then make it pretty after. Yeah, that's how I like to do it, at least. Good mechanics before the flash stuff. Yep. It was making a game design document and a checklist. Helps you focus on tasks because you don't want to have to keep in mind what you have to do. Yeah, if you're very much like that, like it's very different for different people, right? Everyone's a little bit different in how they like things. If you like a checklist and you know what you need to do for your game, like you have a set plan for your game, then yeah, a game design document right from the start will be very helpful. If you're more like, I want to make a roguelike, and then you go from there, right? That was you don't have a big idea. At that point, at the game design document at the beginning is like, what do you put? You don't know. You don't have, maybe you want to try out, make a little basic roguelike, template, and then like, hey, what seems fun? You know what? I really want to put in like more players. So maybe I want a roguelike where you control an army, right? And then you go from there. Play around with that. Try it. That's like if you don't have a timeline. You don't have I need to get this done in X time, right? You can do what I'm doing, basically. Depending on the game for you, like a horror house, how it's going to look, but a massive map would be different. Yeah, absolutely. A horror game is very much environment focused, right? Where you're gonna hide, how you're gonna traverse, where's the monster gonna go, but you still need to be mindful of the mechanic of how's the monster gonna move around. Because if the monster is big, maybe he just walks through doors like a person. But what if the monster is small? What if he can go through like ducts? What if he has some weird ability that allows him to maneuver in different ways? Now you have to think about how would you design the house to, be interesting for that mechanic. So, but then becomes right. It depends, right? As I said, more environmental focused versus more mechanic focused. Because you can have a simple mechanic and then make a game, versus you can have a ton of mechanics and make a game. And that kind of probably depends on which one you'd rather do first. You go with no plan, you created a landscape and started adding objects, creating blueprints and mechanics along the way. There you go. Yeah, that's the more free-flowing way. We're dissecting a horror game. You definitely focus on the monster first and how they move with their capabilities, and then that determines the environment. Yeah, I think so, at least.
Ads are here. Pausing for ads.
Ads. Versus making the environment and then crafting the monster after, you're potentially forced to remake the environment. Yeah, that's exactly why I say make system mechanics first. Because if you don't know if something fits, like what if you want your monster to be all of a sudden 3 times bigger? Maybe you can't do the regular doorways anymore. Or maybe that's an intentional mechanic now. That you thought of, I he can't fit through these, he can only fit through those. But now we could be like, okay, that's a safe area the player can go through, the monster can't chase them through, and then you get to, like, mechanically that's now more interesting. So again, but you can do all of that by doing the systems and just blockouts. And you can figure all that out. Dax, thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate it. Enjoy the emotes. Yeah, even the player itself, how they can move, swim, climb, etc. Yeah, that changed the environment, absolutely. 100%. Shall we get started with working on our save game? Or reworking the entire save game? I know. Crazy. There is one thing I did confirm though, which is this is the overall saving, but does not do game instant saving. When you say systems, you're not talking about movements or basic system, but more advanced features like inventory, anti-gravity, door and lock systems. When I put all that under any kind of gameplay mechanic, I still throw in there like an inventory system. Even inventory system. How many things can you carry? How much stuff is going to be around? Where are you going to find the stuff? Are you going to find them in drawers and stuff like that? Cody, Saris, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. How's the stream? Welcome in, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Right, like if your mechanics are, if you're like thinking of making an inventory system and you're like, I have an unlimited unlimited inventory system, that means you have a lot of objects to find, which means you now need to figure out where am I going to store all these objects, and you can't put them all like in drawers. But if you have only a few things, then you're going to have them only in drawers. But then how many drawers are you going to have? Right? You again, it dictates the environment, having inventory and how your inventory works. Hello, Kaludos, Des, Charta, Koti, welcome in, everyone. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Are you gonna make a subsystem for a save game? So I have a pack that I got called Easy Game UI, and it comes with a lovely UI options menu that I've configured with lots of different options, and it has a more advanced save load system, and I'm going to be kind of migrating my current save system to use it. That's going to be the plan. But yeah, that's the plan. I hope your stream one went, Cody. What were you working on? What were you using? Were you using Unreal? Also, for any of you guys coming on Twitch, because I mentioned it earlier in the stream, so I probably should mention it because I didn't bring it up. I do have I do some stuff on YouTube if you're interested in PCG. I do some stuff on YouTube with PCG. if you're interested. Procedural Minds. A horror game. First game, actually. Nice. Very cool. I was talking about earlier in the stream. I was like, yeah, I remember someone rated me at one point, and then I never mentioned it. I don't think anyone ever knew. They thought I was just like a random guy, which I am, a random guy. But I also do a lot of BCG stuff. Hey, Smash Mark YouTube. Yeah, this is also my first game. Here, I'll show you guys also the game I have so far. So you guys can see. It is a roguelike, deck building. A roguelike deck builder where you basically have power-ups, sort of like Binding of Isaac, where they stack passively, but it's in a deck builder sort. So when you go into a dungeon run, then you get to use all those power-ups together. And this is a roguelike, but it's also not room-based. It is more ARPG based. So basically you go out, kill a bunch of enemies. This environment's really temporary. I only set it up as a temporary test over the weekend, so it's a little too small for these guys. This guy's in the lead. There you go, finally. But basically, I have a bunch of power-ups, and they all stack together. So, for example, I was doing melee attacks, and what I can do is, instead, I can do spawn a projectile. So now my attacks spawn a projectile. Okay. And then I can spawn multiple projectiles. Right?
Oh,
Thank you for the sub, Guts. I appreciate it. 13 months, my goodness. So now I spawn, it's a melee attacks, is the projectile attacks, and they spawn multiple, and I can go and do missile mirror, which means that if my projectiles now hit an enemy that's shooting a projectile, it will bounce the projectile back at them. There you go. And because I have multiple projectiles, the attack back also did multiple. So it all stacks together. So if I can get one of the projectile ones to shoot me. Oh, I killed him. But that's kind of the idea so far. And right now, there's a few bosses. There's 4 bosses total. When you kill enough enemies, you're able to spawn a portal, and then go through said portal, and then go to the boss, and go fight the boss. I need to fix the performance, and these guys shouldn't be able to stun me. Also, he should be invisible. Why don't I see him above? No. Anyway. That's kind of the why are you moving as a work in progress. It's clearly a few bugs. Few bugs, but that's kind of the where we are currently. Made a save game once and you hate it. Still don't know why Unreal doesn't come out with a built-in save game system. That's because everyone's save system is different depending on the game you're making. You're making an open-world zombie game. You first worked on gameplay mechanics, but since environment design is a big part of it, kept the mechanics simple and focus on the environment. Nice. That's how I found my channel. Hey, the Dark Dragon, welcome in. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. When is there bucks? I know. Also, this is 100% blueprints. I don't code. This game is 100% good old blueprints. Well, thank you for the shout out, Gludos. Thank you for thinking of me. Much appreciated. Get some rest, get some sleep. Thank you again for the raid. Ever so slowly making a Star Fox like. Nice. Thank you, Cody. Have a good night. We're setting up a save. Let's do, we're adding a component. The component that we need to add is BP Easy Save Game Component. I know, what a name. Very hard. Easy Save Game Component. Oh man. Bam! Another component. Actor type. Find similar actor and load. We don't need to register destruction. Save transform, yeah, we'll save the transform. Has variable save, yes. If true, the transform of this actor will only be loaded when in the same level as one saved. One transform per persistent level. I think that's what we want. Man, it sounds like you'll be able to save your game easily in a component unless. Not really component because we still do need to do basically this. So, yes and no. Basically, we need to add an event loading or saving variables. And this is where we do all our stuff. So from here, we can do save or load variables. Hold on. Save or load variable. This one? This one! And now, all the things that I'm saving from the character can go through here. So we need to take a look at what everything we're saving and then set them all up. And theoretically, by the end of this, we will have no save game of my own, and I'll just use the save game instance only of my own. Have a good night, Daryl. Thanks, Tom. Bye. Get some sleep, get some rest. Sleep time, best time. So basically, Yeah, we do the loading or saving. So here, we can plug our variables that we want to save and then set them back, basically. You know why you feel uneasy using this? Well, we'll test it, right? The beauty is, if we don't like it, or if it doesn't work, we already have the current system that we know works that we set up ourselves. All right. So for example, here, all of these variables we need to save. So let's take all of these, paste them all in here. And let's start. Your curse is always needing to know how a thing works so you know when it breaks. Barring, of course, the Unreal Engine source code. Yeah, I know people like you. I don't care. not about you, but I don't care if I know how it works. I just need to know what it does. You know, it's like my phone. I don't know how it works. I don't know anything about it. I know that I can use it to get emails. And this is my email checker. Mostly spam checker. But that's it. If you're wondering why I don't say I make phone calls, it's because I would need to have people to call or call from. And I don't do that because that involves having friends. Yeah. Give me your number, I'll give you a call. That's tempting. That's tempting. I don't think I will. You do drive a hard bargain, though. Oh, see now, the one downside to this is I now need to... Okay, can I put this in a function? Can I put all of this in a function? Yeah. Save and load. Declare variables. And the reason we're going to do this is because now I can do get operation type and get settings JSON file. And just plug it in. Like that. You was gonna say that, but you get that? Yeah. It's because I've said it before. I know. I was about to say I'm like a broken clock, but that's not at all the saying that would make sense. I'm like a broken record. That's the one. Now, I'm saving all of this. Oh, it's because I can't... You know what I wish I could do? Just in general in Unreal. when I have something like an actor component or an actor, anything, I wish I could just replace every single variable, every single like thing of that with something else. Like if this actor component, if I saved this actor component, I wish I could just be like, see this other actor component that is the same type? Replace it. All like overwrite all things. I wish I could do that. You want me to look at the camera? Do you want me to look at the camera? Is that what you wanted me to do? I'm pretty sure I saw a look at camera. You understand what I said about the two components? So I have my character stats that I'm saving on this component, AC character stats. If I was to save this component in a save game, I wish I could load that actor component and just basically every variable inside that original one would be overwritten automatically. I used to manually set it all up, but I can't be bothered. Hold on, this, no, I don't need this. Wait. This is all game instance stuff. This is not save game, is it? Hold on. Let's load save game. I want to go to save game. Yeah, we don't want to do any of this game instance stuff. We only want to do this. Oh, this is all game instance. Game instance, game instance. So all the player stuff I actually don't want to be doing. This is all game instance stuff. No. We don't want to be doing this. Yeah, we only need to do... We might actually only need to save the game mode stuff. Not the player stuff. Because this is all game instance stuff that I have here. Theoretically, I could save it in the save game, but then... No, that would cause issues. So... Come on. You can do it. I love it when I try to delete a function that is not referenced by anything, but it has to take this long just to delete it. Oh, thank you, Unreal. You decided to. I appreciate it. It's a long name. Yeah, that's the only reason. So let's get rid of this. So instead, I can add things to the game mode, right? Yeah, I can actually add a component to the game mode because it is, in the end, basically a blueprint. So from here, we can do the same thing. Save or load variable. Now, let's configure this the same thing. We don't need to save transform. It does have variables to save and find similar on actor load. We're not saving transforms because it's a game mode. Respawn or find only in same level. Only be respawned or found when in the same level as one saved. No. Okay, so basically we need to take all of this. We need to take all of this stuff, minus you, and save all of this. Okay, now let's collapse this function. Save and load variables. This might be a good time to rename these. What the plugins do what the plugins do better than your current setup? It's more just organized. That's the main thing. It's just a little more organized. A little more modular already compared to mine. So I'm like, I might as well use it. Plus, I can have it, when I use it, instead of my own, I can have it save with a thumbnail if I want to, have multiple save slots, or lots of options. So it's a little more advanced than what I have. So I might as well use it. We can do the same thing, get operation type, and get settings JSON file. Right, for example, like when I load this, like this specific variable, when I load it, I could do something from here. Or I can know when this specific variable did not load. Or I can do something specifically when this specific variable has been saved. You know, stuff like that. So if I want to, I could save a specific variable or load a specific variable. Potentially.
Ads are here.
Which is cool.
Pausing for ads.
So there you could just make a struct that saves and loads all of that. And then that's just back to square one. Well, I already have a save and load system, right? This is just a more organized one with more features. You like the CPP save game way? But it requires CPP. Yeah, this is a CPP free zone. Yeah. This is a safe space for all those that have, you know, not been yet afflicted with a CPP virus. It's dangerous out there, so we made a little safe space here. Once you've done the boilerplate CPP, you make that sound easy. It's not. As I've told the story multiple times before, I failed to follow a 4-minute tutorial on how to set up what was it called? Gas. I failed to follow a 4-minute tutorial on how to set up gas, and my project would not compile. And I don't know CPP or C++, so I couldn't debug it. So yeah. The whole done with the boilerplate part is a little bit difficult. How am I moving this window? Look where my mouse is. How am I moving this window? I did not mean to move this window. I wanted to select. How'd that happen? What? How did I manage that one? Okay. Just totally fine. All is normal. I wonder if I can find it real quick. The video I'm talking about. Probably not. I just remember it was like, it was part of like a multi-part series, and the first video was just really short of like how do you get it set up. No, won't be able to find it now because of course I won't be. I mean, I think it's outdated at this point, so I don't even know it's. Nope. I guess not set up. Enable. You just need to look, search for enable. How to bind? No. Nope. Never mind. I remember it was short. I remember it was very short. I don't know what I searched for though. Oh, oopsie. We need to be setting these variables. Set card deck. Set on my card. You know, I never expected a wild card output to be converted into an execution pin, but I guess if it is a wild card, I guess it can. I mean, it is a right. Wild card means it can be anything, including an execution pin. Huh. Well, now that's stuck as an execution pin. So okay, let's do this. So it gets stuck as the right format. Interesting. I never thought about that one, I guess. But makes sense. Makes sense. You're trying to decide the notify for health change should come from the start component, right? Not from the HUD nor the player itself. The notify for health change should come from the component. The notify for health change should come from wherever you're doing the calculations of the health change. So if you're doing your damage calculation on the player, then do the notifications from the player. If you're doing it in a component, then do it from the component. Right? It's just wherever you're doing a health change from, that should immediately notify. Whatever that is. It could be in another component. You can go from component back to the player, back to another component. If you want to like notify from one component to another. The stack component, because that's where the raw health value is. Yeah, if you're doing the calculations, like if that's where you do the, modify health, damage, and all that, then yeah. That's where I have mine, at least. Because that seems like the thing that makes the most sense. Well, I do my damage calculations on the parent character, and that does the final applying of the health on the component, which then notifies. How big is your guy's deck size? Mine by default is 10. The pin should be called value to save / load, right? No, this is just the loaded value. So the value to save is here, is the input here. And this is just the loaded value. So both of these are wildcards, as you can see, the value to save and value to load. Yeah. You're good, you're good. Or I'm just saying that and lying to your face. I mean, really 50-50, but you're probably fine. Or are you? You're calling up HUD BPI message. Yeah. I'll do it. I could probably rework my stuff a bit to use also more blueprint interfaces now. Now that I reworked the HUD, that might not be a terrible idea. There's a part of me that is like, this should all be a struct. But I've had so many issues with structs that I'm like, maybe not. Maybe it's fine that it's not a struct. Plus it allows me to save the stuff individually. Set current weapon. Nope, I just need to do for sure just that. I really made a plugin. I think it's called used in Lyra gameplay message. It's used to broadcast and listen event on channels with any type of data. How's that different than an event dispatcher? That just sounds like an event dispatcher, because you could pass through any data on an event dispatcher as well and have it listen to it and get that data. Oh, so you don't have to get a reference for it. Now that is nice. That sounds very nice. Why is that not a thing? Why is that not just a thing? I want event dispatchers that I don't have to get a reference for. That sounds amazing. Can I just have that? Why is that not just a normal thing that we have access to? We just get like a global event dispatcher instead of just a... What? Why did this... I'll save or load variable, this one. What do you mean this can't save a array? Now hold on a second. No. The problem here is this. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Holding? Okay, you gotta need to hold for a little while. Sorry. Is there any mention of an array? For map variables and structure variables? No. There's a separate one. Save or load array variable. My mistake. I didn't finish reading the documentation. There's a separate one specifically for arrays. Okay, everything is fine. It's the problem is as always between the keyboard and the chair. See, yeah, that's why you read. Where is it? Every time I think of this, I was elected to lead, not to read. I wasn't elected, and I don't lead. But I do not read. Okay. 2 more of these. It's fine. It's all fine. See? Just replace them all. And everything is hunky-dory. GitHub is a great source if you know coding. If you don't know coding, you're not gonna get very far. GitHub. Yeah, I wish it wasn't the case, but yeah. Compile. Oh, look at that! All the errors went away. Hey! The guy says you can download Lyra for your Unreal version and steal the plugin directly. I mean, yeah, I have. I'm sure I've downloaded Lyra before. The problem is I've opened Lyra. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Look at Leo looking out for me. I appreciate it. Thank you. Active item, cards open, weapon, currencies, collectibles. Okay. That's, I think, everything. Okay. So we're not doing any struct or map variables because that has issues, which is good. Yeah, because that has issues. Which is funny because I already also noticed those issues. You can also execute any code after the variable got saved with the saved output pin, or also do any custom logic in the failed to load pin. Yep. You then place any save or load variable node you want. Save all your variables. You just have to remember to plug in the operation type and settings. Yep. If for any reasons you need to load variables on persistent actors where not initially loaded during the first load, you can call the function request load variables from the save game component. This will instantly load the data associated with a given actor in the latest save file. This only works for actors that have the persistent type and are not already registered as destroyed. Structs and maps have issues. Use a lot of maps of structs. Oh boy. Have a good night, guys. Thanks, time by. Get some rest, get some sleep. So, yeah, Leo. So, fun little story. If I go to, where is it? Yeah. So you see how this says, get proper card copies, Leo? from my current save game, I save my unlocked cards, which is a struct of all my cards. And then I have this get proper card copies. Weird name, but there's also this other array of structs. And basically what I'm doing is comparing some values between the two structs, and I'm making a new struct based off of this struct. So instead of just using this one, I have to use this one, which I populate on when the game loads clean every time. Now, why do I do this? The reason I do this is because for some forsaken reason, when the game loads on a packaged build, specifically packaged build, even if you have the same structs in both, they will not return that they are equal. Even if you do a break struct and you compare every single value of one compared to the other, and they all will return their equal. When you do a just comparison of a struct to a struct, it will return false. They're not like, it will not do a find struct in an array. It will not do a, lookup of any individual thing in that array of structs. It'll fail every time. Because I guess when it saves and loads from like actually opening it from the first time on a packaged build, under the hood, something is different. And so I've had to basically make it so my entire deck, all my cards are loaded in the background. And then using those cards, I check which ones do you have. And then I create a new list of those cards, basically off of the newly generated ones that I know will all be of this new struct format for the new opening of it. It's really weird, but ran into this issue where structs, for some reason, are just not consistent on a packaged build enough. A struct is just basically a variable that can store other variables. Basically, that's it. So, for example, in this one variable, right, in this array of variables, this one struct has, right, text fields, it has floats, object references, gameplay tags, booleans. It just has, basically, it's a variable of variables. And a packaged build, all of these will equal compared to another one. But if you do if you did a find, whatever you plugged in here, even if it exists, it would return false. So I had to do this nonsense, which basically is going through check against. So it goes through all the check ones and checks against the check against ones. And if it finds a match where the name is the same and the card tier is the same, because I have all the tiers in the all cards version, then it adds it to the deck, which is a match a deck card. So yeah, and then that gets populated to the unlock cards, and then I have the card copies, which is another one that does the similar thing, but outputs something different. And then I have the card deck, and then I have, yeah. Anyway, you get the point. Is there any documentation that identified this bug? Leo, you should just end the question as after the word documentation. Is there any documentation? No. Let's see a bunch of stats that are similar, that have slightly different values, like health, mana, stamina. Instead of making multiple individual variables for each of them, you can make a struct that has 3 floats of the current. Yeah. Make a name, and you put those in a struct. So you can get a reference to those. Yeah, that's all fine. The reason it doesn't work for me is because I use like a find, and I have to find that specific card with the exact same values in another array. And because I have to find that exact struct in another array, it fails. If you're not doing that, then you're not going to have a problem. You could have it use a soft object reference, so say URL instead of object reference. How does that work for a struct? There's no object. I'm not fully understanding. This is just an array of structs. There is no object. Can a struct be a soft struct? Is that a thing? How does that work? How would that even work? I misunderstood. Yeah, probably. Talking about the icon variable. Oh, specifically about the icon variable? Why would I need it to be a... Why would I want it to be a soft reference? Yeah. What's the benefit of being a soft object reference instead of a texture 2D object reference? Because it may vary. I plug in, so all that information, there is no varying for me. Basically, I have a data table, and all of that information gets populated from the data table on starting the game. So there's the ability icon. It's populated. It comes from here. There is no like guesswork. There's nothing. It's just at the very beginning. It's all populated. There's the ability icon. So I don't think I need to, in my case, because it's all from a data table that has every single point of information it needs. I don't think I need it. But I'm not familiar too much with soft references in general. Load when your data table is loaded. Data table is loaded immediately in gameplay on game start. It might be the cause, you mean? I don't think so, because again, I went through every individual one, including the icon, and when I compared equal to equal, it returned true as being equal. So basically, for my test, for the test that I did, again, within the two arrays, I basically did break for both, and then one by one, I just did, hey, does this equal the one from the other array? And every single one of these would return true, that they are perfectly equal. 100% of them would return perfectly equal, but a find would not work. Or a contain would also not work. Which is odd. Which is super odd, where every single one of these would be fine, but an array contains item and a find both returned always false, effectively. Super odd.
Ads are here. Pausing for ads.
But again, only in a packaged build, not in editor ever. Only packaged. I'm gonna get another drink. I'll be right back. I'm back. We just must do the equal function ourselves. It's not handled automatically. Yeah, it's not automatic, but I'm sure you could also do a find or contain, right? CPP. I don't know why I say CPP. C++. CPP sounds weird. Structure is just a thing that exists in C++ as C#. So you should be able to make a unit. Yeah, I think that just exists everywhere. I think pretty much everything has structs. They're called structures, is the full name. Yeah, it also has structs. Yeah, it exists. A structure variable refers to an instance of C# struct that you can define within your scripts. Yeah, it also exists. He always pauses the video. I don't pause the stream. Stream is still go. The stream is live still. Probably doesn't want us to see that he's not wearing pants. Well, yeah, of course. Why would I show you that I'm not wearing pants? You would see I'm also not wearing underwear. And that's just unsanitary. For you. For me, it's fine. In the world is that? Is that emote? What is that emote? A cheese booty shaking? Okay, well, we got the saving system on the game mode. Let's continue to the advanced configuration and saving and loading. The save game system can be tweaked in various aspects that could help tailor the loading and saving experience of your game. These advanced settings can be tweaked from global config data asset. Check out all the available settings and the descriptions here. By default, the display name is the name as the unique name of the save file, which is a save type followed by a number, autosave 2, for example. You can change that to add a custom unique name if you wish in the Blueprint Save Game Operation Manager. No, this is fine, I think. I think we can... How to use quick saves, the checkpoints, and manually trigger save load. Here we go. I need manually trigger save load. Ooh, we got Unreal logo animated. Fancy. Pizza pants or pizza in the pants? Why not both? Why not have pizza pants that are also filled with pizza? Pizza stuffed pizza pants, if you will. Just saying. Johnny's just making the Unreal icons emotes. I mean, to be fair, not a bad idea. Unsanitary? Yeah, that's fine. How about crust stuff? Oh, stuffed crust. I don't know why I read crust stuff. Stuffed crust is amazing. Stuffed crust is amazing. If you want to manually trigger or save or load it anytime with code, you can do the following setup. If saving first, call the find available index for save type function. Let's see, can I do that from anywhere? Find available, yep. The cheese is in the pockets. Hold on. These are not good, but oh, like it's not great. These are more pizza than pants, and then these are more pants than pizza. It's just I wanted this, but also for pants. And we combine these. Also, I love how in this bottom right one, instead of this just being the entire pant leg, it's pants and then just a thinner pants on top as a design. This one actually looks pretty good. You know, this seems like a decent, melty, cheesy pizza. This just seems like pizza on top of shorts or underwear. This just looks like good pizza. This is Pizza Pocket. I don't know what this is. Why are we like this? No, that's the wrong question, Leo. Why is everyone else not like this? That's the better question. Everyone else should be like this. Do you only wear things you can eat? Smart man. If you ever get hungry, it's right there. This function is needed to ensure that you won't erase any previous save files. You can do so, but at your own risks. You just need to give it the save type, save unique name you want, and how many slots are allowed for this save type. Once you've done that, get a game instance node and call the start save game operation function on it. Max amount of saves for type. 1. Save type. Test. We'll have the number 8. And then get game instance. Start save game operations. Start save game operations. Now I need to configure the save game operation infos. Unique name goes to the slot name. Operation type is save. Slow/performant. Medium or instant/expensive. So, what? Slow/perform is the most adequate for operation during live gameplay, such as autosaves. Medium is adequate for live gameplay operations if the user is aware that some moderate amount of lag setters could happen, such as quick save. Instant is not adequate for live gameplay, as it will most likely cause stutters or prolonged freeze during, depending on how much there is to save/load. This type of operation should only be done inside a menu or behind loading screens. Okay. Loading screen, check this box if your operation should trigger a loading screen until its end. That is cool. That is cool. Found a brand new baby bed today. You gave it to our cats. What'd you do with the baby? Storm Run? What'd you do with the baby? Or did you punt the baby, Storm Run? We told you about this. Stop punting the babies. Considering it's not his baby, Leo, do you call CPS on someone else? But you don't know whose baby it is, because someone left the baby, and someone else punted it. Who do you call? Who do you call? I think you just call Ghostbusters, and that's the simplest solution. The force operation boolean allows to force the save load even if they are disabled in the config. Even if they are disabled in the config? Interesting. Okay. If you need to load the save alongside a new level, simply call function set up game instance for save game operation. Set up game instance for save game operation. And there you can define any save operation informations or leave it blank to just load the level. Then input the level that must be loaded and its parameters. If no level is defined, the system will try to find the level associated with the save slot. The force operation boolean allows to force load even if they are disabled from the config. Okay, hold on. Load. So the slot name, we test. Well, try this. I don't really want to load a level. Am I using the number 9 for anything right now? Boss card shop? I can't remember this. I'll use 8 and 9 here. Save. Load. Okay. The question becomes, I want to test this probably with just some random variables. So let's go to the game mode. We'll set up a new thing here. Right, and we'll set up just a new variable. Just test integer. And then load it, test. Yep. And then in the player here, just also do a print string. Get game mode reference. Get test. Change the variable name of the integer? Oh, thank you. Good call. Thank you, thank you. Test. The controller should have 5 buttons on the right instead of 4. So, like, a pentagram? Do you want them to be in a pentagram instead of a... like a diamond? Let's do... We're not using... We're using 8, 9, let's do just equals. Okay. Let's see if this works. Okay, so if I press this, I have 1. If I then save, it says 1. I increment this, it's not saving. I press load, it loads 5. So it doesn't load properly. So is it because I've disabled it and I need to do force operations on these? So, save. Oh, screenshot saved. So that's good, okay. And then if I increase this to 9, and then I load, it still says 10. But it did save, I think. So... if you just leave a save alongside a new level, let's have 8 buttons total, all major and sub-cardinal points per phase. Might wait for the level to be loaded to load the save game? No, I think it's because the input, the level must be loaded and its parameters. If no level is defined, the system will try to find the level associated with the save slot. What is this absolute? If true options are reset, if false options are carried over from current level. Wait, set up game instance for save. Wait. Start save game operation. This is setup. Load. Could I do this? Should I do this instead? Just, I'm curious to try this. Force operation still load, still all this. Let's try this. Okay. Increase. Save. Okay, there's a screenshot. And then... So now if I increase this and I do load, it still has 8. Well, hold on a second. How does it know that I am getting the variables from... Wait. I don't think it even knows that I'm getting the variables from here. Does it? No, it does. Save game load operation. If I do load, it does not trigger it. Okay. Load did not trigger it. But save does. Let's go back to this one real quick. Yeah. Put L hub on level. Might as well try. Save. Increase. Load. So it reset it. But I should have. I saved them. I'm. Right. This is saying 6. When I hit save, it read 6. When I do load, it says 6, and then this resets. 11. Save. Load. Is the load not set up properly? Hold on. Did I not plug in the load properly at the end here? No, it should. Why is it not triggering it? Oh. Well, that's fine. Is it all plugged in? Yeah. Okay. Testing works. And when I do load, why is load not being triggered? Load is not being triggered. Why is load not being triggered? Failed to load. It doesn't say failed to load. But this is also not printing. So loaded and unloaded is also failing. So what's up? Yeah, that's just not running. So this is not happening at all. So this, if I change the color on this, it'll be easier to see. So what's happening is save works, but load doesn't. Okay. So what we need to do, because it mentioned this, is if you wanted to like force it, if you need to load this save alongside a new level, simply call the function setup. Wait, where was the thing? Did it mention? Oh, is it here? Here. Request load variables. All right, let's try this. Five. Load. Still no. Game mode is not placed in levels, so maybe it doesn't work with the current settings on the component. No, I set it to be find similar actor and low, which is what the dev said to put it on. As variable to save is true.
Ads are here. Pausing for ads.
Ads time. Huh. Hey Clouds, welcome in. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. So it's like it's saving. It just ain't loading. This only works to this only works for actors that have the persistent type. I'll try changing it to persistent. Let's try it. Technically, the game mode is always there. technically. Save. Nope. Oh, okay. It doesn't like persistent. Okay. Yeah, trial and error. One thing I'm thinking about is I maybe could have it be done on the character. The character is the one that saves and loads the gameplay stuff. But no, the order of operation doesn't work there. Why does, so this is useless, this is not gonna work. Why does this not trigger? Yeah, I don't want to have it on the character because it'll cause issues. Because the game mode is loaded way before the character, it wouldn't work. Alright, so this works. It says saved. Screenshot saved. Which, by the way, I probably have tons of screenshots now. I don't know. Here's one screenshot. Just one. The thing is, this loads. Really, like, it's doing the... Yeah, it overwrites, which is good, which is what I want. Curious. Anything for here? Save or load variable. Save or load variables. No. The only thing I have here is save or load variable, which is not the right thing. Okay. Let's turn that off. Let's clear this back out. Request load, have I tried? Did I miss something? Where's the request load? No, that isn't. So I need to have a level in here. So the level has to be here. Which is... I mean, okay, sure. In the game mode. Oh, this, yeah. This is the one that I tried up here. Yeah, that's the one. That's this one. But this only works when you have a persistent type. So persistent is something that's placed manually in the world. And this throws errors because it's not persistent. Yeah. Tried that. This didn't have anything I needed. It's interesting because what I want is to just load variables. Let me read this through again. If you need to load a save alongside a new level, simply call function setup game instance for game save operation. In there, you can define any save operation informations or leave it blank to just load the level. Any save operation information? What kind of save operation information? I wish it would give me an example of what kind of save operation information I would need to put in there. The input the level that must be loaded and its parameters. If no level is defined, the system will try to find the level associated with the save slot. The force operation boolean allows. Yeah. I feel like there's a little bit of information missing here. So this will load the level. I guess what we need to figure out is how do we trigger this load? If I just go in here, right, it doesn't just do it. You use a start save game operation to load. Okay, let's try that. Start save game operation. We tried this earlier, but it wasn't working. Force operation. But let's try again. Okay, we're doing load, test, load on screen, right? All that good stuff. Okay. Save 3. Increase number. Load. Yeah, the number has not been... It's 10 right now. I do load. It still remembers the number, so it's still not doing it. These aren't quick saves. I'm trying to do like full manual saves. I mean, let's check out quick saves. Hold on, let's check out quick save. Maybe it has a whole loading thing. Here. No. You just have a... Here's how you create the mapping. Once it's done, quick saves and quick load features will be available without any other setup needing as long as the input mapping context is active on the player controller. No. Manual trigger. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find. Does the use previous data have any documentation? Well, this is trying to find that. Set an important checkpoint save trigger. Go to the Easy Game UI, Easy Game Core, blah, blah, blah. Once placed, you'll find 2 settings you can change in the detail panel. Save type. Important save by default. Disable after activation. Check this box if you want this trigger to activate only once. If true, trigger won't be ever again by the player, even when loading the world after a save. No. No, I need to do this. It's manually trigger saves and load. Yeah, let's turn that on. Yeah, use previous data. Okay, so we're at 5, saved. Oops. Let's increase this to 10. Load. No, still kept going. I saved at 5. But it's not resetting. If I save at 21, right, and I continue, unload, that number should go back down. And it should trigger the, Let me try something interesting. Something I haven't tried yet, which is, okay, saved at 5. I'm gonna go in here, which is a different level. Increase. So this is back to 5. Then I'm gonna click load. It loads here. Because we're no longer using this version. If we go back to using this version, okay, it should also load the level then. So again, we'll just do like save at 5. Come here. It didn't load anything, but let's say I'm at 9. Load. And I get reset. No, it's not doing anything. It's not loading anything. So even that, it loads the level, but for whatever reason, it's not triggering. Yeah, both are test. Yeah, exactly the same. We can try doing it instance expensive. To now load, yeah, it fully resets it. Can you check the disk if file is saved? Yes. So every time it saves, see 845 here, with a new thumbnail, and it's overwriting the stuff. Like if I delete everything, and then click save. Oh, this is in test 0. Well, I have test 0 and test 1. Let me just delete both. Okay, delete both. Increase, save. Yeah, there's the new one. 847. No errors. It usually would come up as errors. Although, failed to read file, blah, saved, save games test, metadatas, and datas. Well, there's the problem. It failed to read the file. Oh, that was probably, yeah, once I deleted it. That was probably that. Let me just double check. Save. Load. You're right, because I accidentally clicked load once. No, still there. Failed to read file. He has the right path. But I have no control over that either way. Let me try something different. Load operations are loud. So I have here 6 saved, increased, options menu, load game. It's right there. Load this. Continue. No, variables still get reset. So something's going on where it's just not reading the save or the load. So that's the problem. Is for some reason it refuses to load. Oh, let me check. Shit. Not you. Use previous data. Datas. On the function most likely doesn't need to be used. This boolean is used at begin play by the system to tell the game instance that it should check if there's anything to load. Yeah, on the game mode, that's what I have it at. Find similar actor and load. Don't see it. Find similar actor to load. Huh. Problem is this is not triggering. This right here is not triggering at the beginning. Blind event. What is it? That is not what I want, I guess. How to replace the saving system with your own. Yeah, I don't need to replace the system. Well, I know, right? That was the longest function that I've seen so far. So what could we do? What have we not tried? Because we've tried... Right. We tried loading here, going to another level, and then loading. Loading, for some reason, loads... Well, it just reloads this. But if we use this one, then it doesn't really help. It reloads the pub properly, but it doesn't still load the variables. All right. 6, save. Go in here. Okay, never mind. We'll try again after this commercial break. Yeah, I never understand the whole restore selected. It never works. We tried the previous data. We tried no previous data. I think it works if you have like version control like built in for version control. Maybe then that's how it will work. But then it doesn't get it from the revision control anyway. It's supposed to get it from the autosave, I would assume. Yeah, not loading. What if I... Hold on. What if I don't find available index for save type? What if I just do slot name test, save? What if I just bypass this thing entirely? Okay, just for shits and giggles. I don't think that matters, but let's just double check. Save on 6. Increase. Load. Nope. Allows to revert to the server code of the thing. Basically, if the thing you edited made the engine crash, it allows you to revert to the good version. But it never lets me do that. Ever. So even this, where I just specifically just tell it to do the same slot name no matter what, has no effect. Yeah. Has no effect. GM save load. It does do the save load operation. Hold on. It does do the save load operation. Now. Wait. Hold on. It did do the save load operation. Hold. Save. It did not say failed. He says GM save load operation. So it's but it's not doing this either. What? Now I am very confused. I'm gonna say failed on save too, so don't mind that. So there it is. So so this is triggering. Okay. Is somewhere here that it's being messed up along here, and somehow it's not getting far enough? Is that the problem? Now? Okay, no, failed, still working. Okay. Oh, did I try failed off of this? Go right to the end. Okay, so hold on. It's true, so it's going through this, right? The execution's happening. Hold on, operation type. Print me this operation type. Save, okay. load. So it is printing the right thing. But it's not... loading the right value? No, it's loaded 4. Wait. Save 11. Increase. Load. Wait, now it's working. I thought print strings just fix stuff. I think just add another print string, it'll fix everything. What? Are we working now? let's once again the go note. I know. Okay. One more time. Let's confirm. Okay. So I'm at 4. I hit save. I saved at 4. I increase later. I load. I increase again. It's at 5 because I was at 4. So that's working. I go in here. I increase because it started at 0. It's a new level. Okay. Then I load. And then it's saved. Okay. So, okay. How do I current level? Yes, I'm using the level one. So I'm using the level one. I'll make for print strings. I mean, that basically is what fixed it, right? We added a print string to the print string. Yeah, so we did this. So, well, I think what also helped, hold on. If I return this to be how it was, right? Let me see if this causes issues. So if I will do 7, save 7, increase number, load, increase number, it still goes off a 4.
Ads are here. Pausing for ads.
This thing it didn't like. It's not the same? What's not the same? Yeah, that's because in this version it didn't use the node here. It didn't use the node in this example for the loading. I'm following the documentation. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. But you're probably right. You're probably right. Which is why right now when we just plug this back in, it failed to load it. Increase. We're increasing it to 12. Saving. Then increasing it some more, and then loading. Next one should print 13. Yep. Okay, you know what? I found a slight flaw with this documentation. It made me think that I don't need this. Yeah. Slow should work without load level? Probably. So let's confirm that. That's a good thing to check. Yep, let's do that. Okay, thank you. And we'll leave it previous data off just to see. Okay, 4, save. Increase past 4. Load. Increase. Yep. That works. Load. It is loading the level. It's loading the level because that is the save that it is. But here it's not. Interesting. So the other one will load the level. This one will try to load the information of this one. So really, I do want, when I do my load, I do want to use this. Okay. We made progress. On start, save it, loads level. No. Yeah. This one loads the level, which I want. It's all good. So now, if I added the easy save game component on the character, and I just wanted it to be a save transform, right? Theoretically, when we come here and I did save, and then I go somewhere else and I press load, I now saved my character's exact position. So I'm no longer loading in the start of it, I'm loading where this was. If I can increase this, so I'm at 7, save in this location, go somewhere else, increase, load. I should start here. Yep, with the right number. We did it. The other one does not load the level. No. The other one we were using, which was this one, the start save game operation, does not load the level. We've confirmed it, but I wanted to load the level, which is why I'm using this one. Same time tomorrow to see how it breaks. Probably. Do we check cards and other stuff? I have no. We're just testing it with just a regular like integer test to make sure that the thing is even working. And now that we know that it's working, right from here we can be like, okay, let's actually start actually testing our actual cards and everything else. This was our little playground too. Because if you can't save a single number, then you don't have to pass data to fight maps. So I do need to load data here. So you're right. You're right. So what I probably need to do then, theoretically, is an event possessed. You're right. I probably need to do this. And this would be a load. which does not load the level. Nice, I start hero now. If I increase the number, it's 8. So I didn't save, but I go in here. If I increase the number, it is 8. Yep, so it saves. So now I can load, so now it loads properly. So that integer now loads properly when we go in, which is all we need, right? Obviously, we don't need to save the character's location. We don't want to actually load the level. So on begin play, sorry, not begin play, like when I start the game, I will want to use this one. And when it's just loading into the dungeon, we'll do this one. What I'll probably want to do, I could probably use this for the game instance stuff as well. If you need to keep modification made in hub, you need to save before traveling. Yes. So what I'll probably end up doing is when you click to interact to go into the dungeon, it will do a save right before you enter the dungeon. And that way it also saves your position at that location. So when you leave, you'll be right in front of the gate already. And then, of course, if you want to go somewhere else, so that way if you want to just keep running dungeons, you don't have to keep running to them. Your position will be right in front of it automatically. And then, obviously, if you want to go do something else, you'll do something else, and then we'll trigger a save, whatever it is. Yeah, it will save progress before the fight. The only thing we'll need to figure out, though, still is the game instance stuff. So the stuff that is saved purely within the game, within the dungeon, and is needed only within the dungeon. Some things will need to be saved when you complete the dungeon, but others won't. So for the stuff that is just for the game instance, I mean, I could use the current setup still. But what I could also do is make a new save type for game instance variables, and then load and reset them based on the dungeon version, dungeon level. So in the hub, it will be resetting everything. When you load into the hub, it'll automatically reset everything and save it. And then when it's, or like it'll reset everything right before you enter or something. I don't know, figure something out. Or, yeah, I think that might be, or I use game instance, which is the proper way of doing it. I'll probably do the proper way. Would need to re-trigger the portal once more. What do you mean? These are procedural dungeons, right? Also, would you need to save the no. So you cannot. I'm disabling saving within the dungeon. You cannot save within the dungeon at all. I might enable loading so you can load like outside the dungeon, but I might just introduce a new button to the options menu to just return to hub. Like a button or something. If you're in the dungeon. We'll figure something out for later. Let's say you completed a dungeon to the portal. If it saves back to before the boss portal opens, then what happens? So what I'm going to do is, let's say you beat everything, or you die, doesn't matter. I will save your stats. And then it should load back. Ooh, but I don't want it to save your position. I wonder how the position's gonna work. We'll need to do some testing. We'll need to do some testing. Yeah, I see what you're talking about. We'll need to do some testing. I'm sure there's something that I can either enable or disable. Worst case scenario, Leo, we can, instead of using the automatic position save, we can do our own and have the player, the actor or the player move to that location, unload. If the level is specifically the hub. Otherwise, do not do anything. Right? We'll be able to do that manually if needed. So there's workarounds. No, I don't need to do save the dungeon seed at all. Now, every time you go into the dungeons, a new random seed. So if you die in the dungeon, it's a new seed next time. If you beat the thing, new seed next time. If you decide to quit, still new seed it next time. Doesn't matter. Every time it's a new seed. Yeah. It's a matter of it's just a matter of saving the things you've picked up, like the boss drops, and anything that I need for like the shop. Floating map of the sky was procedural? It's modular. So basically my stuff is all modular. So if I zoom out here, you might start seeing repeated areas. Right? So this is the hub. And this is the only one that looks like this, but otherwise you'll see, hey, here's this configuration, right? It's the same one rotated randomly. These are same direction, but these are randomly rotated, right? Same one. And there's another one. Although I got all the same ones. Come on. It's just... Oh. Pfft. I'm smart. I stream, can you tell? So this is the hub. Right, the starting point. The starting area is the same. But then, you see this area with the portal? It is also here. Right, just rotated differently and connected at a different spot. Right? If I regen it, it's basically only currently 2 levels that just get randomly placed everywhere. So, right, so here's, again, the portal one. Keeps being the portal one. But there's another one, I swear. But there's only 2 of them, so... At the current moment. Hold on, I'm just going to save here, so that way I don't have to keep running. Why does he keep putting in just the portal? I made a video, YouTube video? No, this is Dungeon Architect. This is a plugin. Oh, here we go. There we go. That's the other layout right there. So it does this one and randomly picks between them and connects it. There we go. Finally, there's the other. Yeah, this is a plugin that I'm using. This is not my own thing. And then what the plan is to have obviously multiple of these designs. And then what I can do is have like an area where you drop down and we'll have multiple layers of these. As you go up and down or something. There's like a wind draft that pushes you up or down. If this was replicated in PCG at runtime, would be something like this lag. The thing that I have not figured out how to do, for make this even remotely doable, is these are all level instances that get loaded and unloaded based on the distance from the player. I don't know how to load and unload level instances automatically. You forgot the plugin existed and you own it? That's an expensive plugin to forget that you own. Happy to remind you, though. So yeah, that's it's just basically taking level instances that you've pre-configured with predefined entrances and exits and then stitching them together. Which is why the minimap, by the way, doesn't work for this. If I turn on the minimap, you'll see the minimap is very much room-based. So... okay. And I could do like stuff like showing enemies on it. There we go. There's some dots, right? But... problem is... I'll probably need to do my own thing later. You have so many purchases, like in the thousands, majority for free. You got way back when it was like $50 on sale. Oh, that's... you got lucky on that one. Yeah, I think I picked it up for like $300, or I picked it up for $150 on sale. I don't remember, but I feel like I didn't get it on sale because it's almost never on sale. It has. I've seen it on sale, but I think at that time I either already had it or it was too late. It's called Dungeon Architect. It's powerful, but with an asterisk. It gets very little support these days. The dev is just, unfortunately, MIA a bit. And it has issues. Basically, the dev has spread himself, like, it has a lot of different dungeon generations, all built into one. And he's, like, also adding a mini-map system, and now he's talking about using inventory, but what people really want is just to, you know, like, hey, just make these better. Don't add more things, and he wants to make more things. And then he goes MIA for like months at a time, and people are like, questions, and no one knows answers because the documentation isn't great. So it is the most powerful dungeon generation there is. Also some problems. Yeah. Plus and minuses. But in terms of doing it with PCG, my issue, again, is I don't know how to load and unload level instances based on distance, or based on anything. I don't know how to spawn the level instances and then load and unload them. Like full level instances. Not like partitioned PCG. Load pack level. See, you can't be a pack level actor, it has to be a level instance. Because pack level actors only support static meshes, which I can do with PCG already. Level instances support lights, actors, blueprints, everything. And I need specifically to load and unload level instances. Yeah, that's the complicated part. Because you could absolutely have PCG generate a partitioned area and load and unload all the meshes in it. Right? You could do that. But the problem becomes, how do you then load and unload all the lights and everything else? Plus, you need to, I would want to bake the lighting of the level instance, which the new versions support. But again, needs to be a level instance that's set in stone and baked and, right? So you can load and unload everything, including the enemies within it. Yeah, it's and this is so much. And that doesn't even include all the logic that this thing has, which is insane for that style of thing. Am I gonna do a video on it? No, there's videos already. Like, it's a $300 plugin. I'm not making a video on a $300 plugin that I'm not 100% that also behind. Like, yeah, the most amazing thing ever. It has issues, like I said. It is the best thing out there, but it has issues. It is what it is. I'll be honest. I am never going to say something is amazing when I don't feel like it is. And it's good. It's very good. But it's not amazing. It's not the best thing since sliced bread. Then Game Dev Cave? That's something about level streaming? Level streaming is different than spawning and despawning level instances. Level streaming is a thing that has existed like for a long time. That's how just things are done. You could like load and unload different chunks, but when you're generating anything procedurally, it becomes a little like you can't really do that as easily. You had a way to load and unload level instances, but it was more than a year ago. It might involve CPP. You can look again. If you find a way of doing that through blueprints, I would love to hear. That is one of the missing pieces that I need for figuring out a dungeon generator. Like one that I'd want to use. Yeah. Because if I can't load a baked set, like a baked lighting set that has mobs, that has blueprints, that has even PCG for all like tons of stuff, right? If I can't load everything and it's just loading meshes, it's not good. The other thing I also would love to be able to do that there's no way of doing is figuring out what is inside or what level is inside the level instance. It's such a pain in the ass to do. Unlit. I mean, look, yeah, if you make your setup stylized and make it all unlit, problem solved. You're right. Didn't test bake light. If it's a level instance, it will support bake lighting. That's an Unreal thing. You don't need to worry about that. Because that's a beta thing that's in the new versions. Or experimental. I don't even know if it's beta. It might be experimental. Load/unload stream level. Stream level is not a level instance. Yeah, that's different, Leo. Trust me, once you start looking into specifically level instance loading and unloading, becomes a little more challenging. Which is why the fact that this plugin does it is very... I mean, it's a C++ based plugin, so there's probably ways of doing it in C++. But... hey, I mean, yeah, really good plugin. But not amazing enough for me to make videos for a $300 plugin. Yeah. Oh god, I need to still figure out what the hell I'm making a video on for Sunday. Shit. If I don't have any ideas by like tomorrow's stream, there's a real possibility I'm gonna do an emergency like PCG stream instead of game dev, trying to figure out what the hell I'm making a video on. Just have something. This is the first where I have like genuinely have zero idea what I get to do a video on. Tentacles? Unfortunately, that's not very PCG friendly. That's more animation stuff. Hey, we'll figure it out, I'm sure. Maybe. But I hope you'll have a lovely rest of your day. You know, lovely Wednesday. Nice, happy, relaxing day. And we'll be back tomorrow for more game dev. Hopefully. Hopefully game dev. I want to continue. I genuinely want to continue game dev. But if you're new here, consider hitting the follow button, subscribe button, all the buttons. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.